this. But look at this article. This is something I covered on this channel a little while ago. Minority students were offered a no whites safe space, racial healing circle. Now, this is facilitating segregation on college campuses. This is happening on 99% of the college campuses across the country, where you're having this like whites not allowed, whites need not apply sort of a thing going on. Even with job training programs in a regular everyday society, it just doesn't happen on college campuses. You're seeing this in job training programs. The whole affirmative action debate comes up, where Asian groups are suing Harvard and Yale and all these different colleges across the country and high schools in New York and Bill de Blasio, by the way, for the affirmative action, which is the actual only systematic racism that we have in this country, which overwhelmingly affects Asians and white people negatively. This always comes up. This minority students offered no white safe space and a racial healing circle. This is from San Diego State University. And they hosted this racial healing workshop for minority students and faculty later that month that aims to help students and professors of color to get through college and career life. This intimate 1.5-hour racial healing workshop catered to students and faculty of color will be led by well-known professional Dr. Cheryl E. Matthias, state the student organizers of the event. The Marriage and Family Therapy Association, a recognized student organization under the College of Education. So this is one story. Here's another one. This was, I think, out of Dartmouth College. Ivy League offers free ski trip, but not for whites. This was a POC-only ski day. And this is more facilitating. So if you go back to this article here, facilitates segregation, right? And we saw this in the Vice documentary recently, where it was like a free vacation away from white people. If you watch that Vice documentary, we need a day away from white people. Well, you know, Dartmouth College is offering a free ski trip to students of color. The college confirmed to Campus Reform that the trip is university sponsored. So there's the facilitation that we're talking about here. And in this story, Dartmouth College offered the students the free ski lessons this year. 3 POC ski days are scheduled this term, inviting self-identified students of color to create to ski for free. It's not clear whether the university is funding the trip or whether it is being funded in some other way. And you can see the screenshots here of the POC ski days facilitated by the university. And it's just one of many.
Our argument will be that space is not real. It's not real. Science, technology, it's all fake. It's a projection of white fantasies that has worked to control our interpretation of how the world works. None of us have had the privilege of going to fucking space to verify that there's these stars and these galaxies and these planets and things like that. Does that make sense? And so it's a huge criticism of modernity, it's a huge criticism of science, it's a huge criticism of even academia and argument structure within and of itself. Imagine someone who grew up inner city Kansas City, for instance, who never left a 20-block radius. They can't even fathom that there's mountains in the world, let alone that there's something outside of that. Does that make sense, right? And so structural inequity, to some degree, because of our lack of privilege in terms of mobility, determines what we can understand to be real and falsifiable. Whiteness then works and then appropriates science and technology to say this is true while this is not true because it's not verifiable. Does that make sense? And so it's an argument to say that we should focus, it's a hyper focus on the experiential for those of who does not capitulate with whiteness. Yes.
So like what about like telescopes or black astronauts who have been to space?
What black astronaut went to space?
There's been like 14. If you just Google black astronauts, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's astronauts. Not every astronaut goes to space.
Yeah. So if you go to the Wikipedia, there's 14 that went to space, and then there's a whole lot.
You just use it in an academic space, and you just cited Wikipedia.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure they have other sources, but like if you look up the identity of these people, okay. So like Gu and Stuart Blueford.
They said space was real.
Well, he went to space.
Did he say it was real?
I'm sure I could find an interview of him talking about his experience. I don't know where he went if it didn't exist.
Good, then that means we have competing perspectives about truth, which means you should vote negative on presumption because...
Because why?
You can't verify anything.
But he can verify it because he went there.
Okay, I can verify that it's not real because I haven't. So
So you can verify
negative on presumption.
You can verify that space isn't real because you haven't been there.
Yeah, there's no evidence that it exists. My life is evidence of the fact that space does not exist.
So the only type of evidence that's accessible to you is your direct experience?
Absolutely.
Do you experience other people? Do you experience other people's accounts of their experience?
No.
So if a black guy...
I just experience them accounting their accounts, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't reserve a healthy amount of skepticism.
I mean, they could be lying, yeah.
Oh, so you're saying that I'm lying too?
No,
Or are you saying Wikipedia's lying?
No, I'm saying he could be lying. Like the black astronauts could be lying, that's true.
Correct.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, but...
And just because they're black doesn't mean that they don't participate in whiteness.
What do you mean?
Okay, we can have more reading about this, but whiteness is not a racial concept that is about the epidermal. It's more so about a particular set of ideologies that works to securitize life for white people, and black people are definitely participants in.
I'm not denying that black people engage. I'm saying the claim that space does not exist because you haven't seen it. Correct. Like that's like saying like Paris doesn't exist because I've never been there.
Correct. Okay.
So I can't use other people's experiences as proof that it probably does exist?
Or? That's what we call colonialism.
What?
Because you are using other people's experience. I don't even know what that verbiage means. What does it mean to...
Like trust?
What does it mean to extract someone's experience and use it for justification for your own political...
Okay, well it's like, how do I know that slavery happened if I didn't see it, right? Because we have history. Can I just say slavery never happened?
It's called post-traumatic slave disorder.
Yeah. Well, I've never experienced that, so it doesn't exist then?
You can say that it didn't. I mean, a lot of your people say that it didn't. So
right. Yeah,
it's not anything
it's like...
new. It's not anything contrary.
Yeah.
My argument is that black people should have an inroad into that experiential because white people's experience determines the rest of the world. That's just the uniqueness argument.
Yeah, but it's not just white people. There's black people who have experiences going to space. There's like Neil deGrasse Tyson who talks about...
Whiteness as a structure definitely rules the world. That's our uniqueness argument. The AF would blacken our understanding of that by reserving the option that those things are unreal and are used as myths to securitize other people.
So are they like being hypnotized, like the black people? Are they like being brainwashed by whiteness to think they're in space? Or I guess I'm just not understanding.
Everybody's brainwashed by whiteness?
I'm just not really understanding like how whiteness relates to the existence of space.
I mean, I don't think you've done much reading about whiteness.
I guess I don't, understand exactly.
Yeah, that's why we'll do some reading in regard to it.
Okay.
Sweet. Any other questions?
Students at San Diego State University are now offered extra credit if they take a quiz to determine their level of white privilege. So this story comes to us as Professor Day Elliott offered the option to her sociology class students a white privilege checklist that includes 20 questions that aim to illustrate, quote, racial privilege is one form of privilege. So what is white privilege? Well, listen, we're going to take the quiz today. Right here. And the quiz lets us know from Peggy McIntosh, Associate Director of Wellesley College Center for Research on Women, so you know it's good, describes white privilege as an invisible package of unearned assets which I can count on cashing in each day, but about which I was meant to remain oblivious. White privilege is an invisible, weightless knapsack of special provisions, mass, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So we decided that we were going to take the test here today. These are actual questions. This is being given out in college. So question of the day, do you think that you're the beneficiary of white privilege? And who benefits from more privilege? The upper middle class, black American or brown American or immigrant whose parents are wealthy, have college degrees and got to go to good schools, lived in a good area, or the white fatherless child from a trailer park in Arkansas? Different strokes.
Different strokes. We should address the elephant in the room first. Comic Sans.
Yes,
on the college
that
quiz.
Is the elephant. What is this, a clown college?
What are you guys, the font police over here?
Because you're a professor?
Come on.
We're going to learn about white privilege.
Moshe Kasher. I hate white people. Hashtag Oscars.
You hate somebody because of the way they look? That's really intelligent.
Ad by Taylor Cox.
The only anxiety I have about white extinction is that it's not happening faster.
Whoa. I will bet you money that this lady also calls Trump a Nazi. Kind of ironic. At K. Thor Jensen. Racism against white people in America is impossible. But if it were possible, it would be good. At Andrea Grimes. End white people. At Jacob T. Wop. Nice day for a white genocide. At Tariq Musa. Please ban white men. At Mark E. Bassi. White people suck the most. At Chris Leben. I hate whites. What's up with all of these white guys that hate themselves? I don't get it. At Soft CW. Everyone should talk about how much white people suck as often as possible. Thanks. At Katie Salove. I'm a racist. I hate white people. At Carolyn Seed. White people are the worst. At Jack Merkinson. Can't be racist against white people. Oh, it makes sense now. You can't be racist against white people. You just nailed it on the head and now it makes all sense. Ugh. At Marissa Cabas. Ban white men from government. At Ashley Feinberg. White people are monsters. All right, get this lady's tinfoil hat from her. At Joe Gabriel Simonson. White genocide is good. Maybe that's just a little bit racist? Almost all of these tweets are still on Twitter, and some of these accounts that weren't verified, who work for places like NBC, are now verified. So they have allowed these tweets to continue to be on their platform, and then they've verified these tweets by giving them blue check marks. Ask yourself, what would happen if any other ethnicity was put in place of white in those tweets? What would the reaction be? That's racist! Exactly. Not to mention, this is just a fraction of the tweets that are like this on Twitter. Here is a view of the 250 plus tweets that you can go look at right now from verified accounts tweeting racist things like this. And the reaction that we always hear is, we have privilege, so it's not racist. And tweets like this, a minority mocking white people isn't racist. Which is hilarious because, according to Wikipedia, the population of the entire world, white people account for 11.5% of it. That is a pretty small minority in the overall scheme of the 7+ billion people of the world. So even if that were true, which it's not, minorities can be racist, it doesn't fit that idea. The definition of racism is discrimination or prejudice based on race. So if your brain is the size of a pea and you look at people and you judge them based on the color of their skin, then you're a dumbass and you are racist. These tweets are racist against white people in this case, and Twitter should standardize their rules because, like I said, ask yourself, what would happen if any other ethnicity were in those tweets?
As you know, many black people blame the white man for all of their personal problems. But just when you feel they've laid all of life's burdens upon you, this woman, speaking with the Oprah Winfrey Network, has found something else we're supposed to be blamed for.
Like, I hate when people talk about black women being obese. I hate it. Because it becomes a way to blame us for a set of conditions that we didn't create. We're moving, we're taking care of kids, but our food quality suffers. You can't get access to good health care, good insurance. The research says that black women, when we do the same diets as white women, we lose less weight and we lose it slower, even when we're following the diet than our white women counterparts.
Okay, you are not following the diet, that I can guarantee you. And I'd be willing to bet that you're literally eating enough for 4 people.
And what public health practitioners think is that our stress responses in the body change our metabolism. It's literally that the that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same.
Let me tell you the secret to losing weight, lady, because as some of you may have noticed over the last several months, I've been losing some myself. Almost 25 pounds to be exact, because over the last several years, I've been spending way too much damn time in this kitchen on my laptop. So what I did is I stopped eating so much and started going for runs on the weekends and hit up the gym once or twice a week. And now I'm down to 200 pounds, almost my ideal weight. I could probably drop another 5 pounds or so, but hey, at least my clothes fit again. As you know, liberals never take personal responsibility for anything in their lives, but this is a whole new level of crazy.